Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how to get a Logitech G Pro wireless gaming mouse for only $60. I'm going to do that by taking you through a review of this, the Logitech G305 wireless gaming mouse. I'm going to go through an unboxing of this, I'm going to go through the features and specs, I'm going to compare it against other mice, and by the end of the video you'll understand why this is the real Logitech G Pro wireless gaming mouse and why it should be on your shortlist if you're in the market for a new mouse. Let's get into it. Before we go any further, if you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like and share it. And if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button down below and that notification bell so you're notified about new videos as and when I post them. It really helps the channel out. Thanks. So with that out of the way, let's get straight into the unboxing. Out of the box, we've got some Logitech stickers and warranty papers, a single AA which powers the mouse. There's a USB receiver extender cable, so if you want the receiver to be further away from the PC, then you can use that. And of course, we've got the mouse itself. And setting up the mouse for first use is really easy. All you need to do is just slide the top cover off the mouse, and inside you'll find the USB dongle. You just need to take that out because you'll be plugging that into the PC later. Then just take the battery, slide that in, and then replace the battery cover on the top, and we're all ready to go. Now you can just plug the receiver straight into the PC and start using it straight away, but to get the most from the mouse you really need the Logitech G Hub software. So go off and download that, install that on your PC. You might need to set up a Logitech account if you don't have one already. Then go and plug the USB receiver into the PC and the software immediately picks it up. Go over to the mouse, flip it over and turn the on switch on, and it's quickly recognized by the software and ready to use. There are a range of customizable options in the software. You can assign your own actions to each mouse button, including macros, and you can also assign different actions depending on the game or application. The customizations are great, and personally I just use the general settings when using my PC normally, and then I have some customizable settings for each mouse button when I'm playing certain games. You can also set up multiple DPI settings for each profile, with each DPI setting color coded. To cycle through these, simply press the DPI button on the top of the mouse, and there's an LED underneath the button, and that will change colour corresponding to the setting in the app. It's great to see this attention to detail, which allows you to easily see the DPI setting that you're setting your mouse to without having to use the software. Even though the mouse is only powered by a single AA battery, Logitech's Hero Sensor is really power efficient. That allows it to get up to 250 hours of battery life out of a single AA in performance mode. If you change that to endurance mode, then that battery life goes up to 9 months. It achieves that power efficiency by reducing the polling rate of the mouse from 1 to 8 milliseconds. So certainly for gaming, you're going to want to have it in performance mode to get that highest response times. The only criticism I have here is it doesn't appear possible to set the performance mode of the mouse based on each profile. I would have liked to have set it to endurance mode when using the PC normally, and then switch to performance mode when I'm playing a game. So as it stands, I have it set to performance mode all the time. Now I've got some rechargeable batteries, and I'd certainly suggest buying some rechargeable batteries if you don't have any already. So it's not a major deal breaker for me, it just would have saved on battery life a bit. The G305 uses Logitech's Hero Sensor, which provides a DPI range of 200 to 12,000. That sensor allows it to achieve a high degree of sensitivity and precision in its mouse movements. Couple that with Logitech's Lightspeed wireless technology, which gives 1 millisecond response times, and you have an awesome combination that's ideal for gaming, or anything else for that matter. This combination is common across most of Logitech's gaming mice, and it's great to see it make an appearance here too. The mouse has a standard 6-button configuration with 2 main mouse buttons, the central clickable scrollable wheel, the DPI selector button on the top, and it's also got 2 thumb buttons on the left hand side of the mouse. So whilst the ambidextrous shape of the mouse might lend it to lefties, the fact that the 2 thumb buttons are fixed on the left hand side certainly means it's probably not ideal for left-handed people. On the subject of fit for purpose, the physical size of the mouse makes it a really comfortable fit. If you have small to medium sized hands, at only 160mm long, it's certainly on the smaller side of most gaming mice in the market. I had no issues with it at all though, and certainly appreciated the smaller size, as some gaming mice can be insanely large. It's just something you need to be conscious of if you've got larger hands. Whilst we're still on the subject of size, here's where things get interesting. At 116.6mm long, 62.15 wide and 38.2mm high, it is exactly the same size as the Logitech G Wired mouse. If we consider the G wired mouse and wireless, which I'll get to in a second, as its most likely mouse that it's going to be compared to, then looking at the two side by side, you can see that they're almost exactly the same. In dimensions, they are identical. Now the most noticeable difference here is the lack of RGB lighting on the 305, and if that's a deal breaker for you, you should probably look somewhere else, although you might change your mind once I get to the price. Other differences are really minor, and I'm being super critical here when I say that the plastics on the G Pro feel a little bit grippier and a bit more robust than they do on the G305, but honestly I am splitting hairs here and really trying to struggle to find anything of significant note of difference here. There is a difference in the sensors here though, with the Logitech G305 having the 12K sensor and the G Pro having the 16K sensor. What difference that actually makes in real life though is anyone's guess, especially when you consider that most pro gamers set their DPIs to 800 or even 400 DPI. I certainly noticed no difference when gaming, other than having no wire to contend with, which was awesome. If you now consider the actual G Pro wireless model, this takes the sensor from the G Pro Wired and puts it in a wireless body, but it does that by making the mouse bigger. At about 1 centimeter longer and a couple of mils wider and taller, it feels like a completely different mouse. So if you like the small size of the G Pro Wired, you're going to be disappointed with the wireless version. They should really call this mouse the G Pro Plus Wireless, or something like that. In contrast, the G305 is exactly the same size as the G Pro Wired, it just adds wireless capabilities. It's also worth pointing out that the G305 and the G Pro Wireless both use Logitech's Lightspeed wireless technology, which means they both have 1 millisecond response times. Your gaming is going to be more affected by the latency in your broadband connection than it is with any technical differences between these three mice. I couldn't finish the video without mentioning weight, and there certainly is a difference here. The G Pro Wired comes in at 85 grams and the G305 weighs 99 grams. Now that's including the battery. The G Pro Wireless on the other hand is 80 grams, so there's certainly a weight difference here. Now you might think that the G Pro Wireless therefore runs away with this, but it is worth considering that the G502, which used to be a favourite amongst many gamers, weighed 121 grams and people loved that mouse. So whilst weight is a factor, I certainly don't think it's a deal breaker here. There are custom mods for it and battery covers that you can buy from third parties that take the weight of the G305 below even 80 grams. So you can do that if that's your thing. And now we come to price, and in US dollars we've got the G Pro Wired coming at $70. The G Pro Wireless retails at $130, and that's significantly more expensive. In contrast, the G305 is $60. That's $10 cheaper than the G Pro Wired and less than half the price of the G Pro Wireless. That's a significant price difference. So with all that said and done, would I recommend the G305 as your next gaming mouse? And as usual, I think it depends. If you've got larger hands, then I suggest looking elsewhere. The actual G Pro Wireless might be a good start, but that's $130. The G705 is slightly larger, and at only $100, that might be a good option. For even larger hands, there's the G903 or the G502 Lightspeed, but these are now hitting at over 110 grams each, and they're also hitting that $150 price bracket, so they're certainly not getting light or cheap. For me, the G305 represents a great purchase. It has exactly the same dimensions as the G Pro Wired mouse, and yet it adds the same wireless capabilities of more expensive mice, whilst coming in at a price that is less than its wired counterpart. So for me, this is what makes this the true G Pro Wireless gaming mouse. So if you want most of the features of the latest and greatest gaming mouse, don't want to pay a fortune for it, aren't bothered about RPG lighting, and have a small to medium sized hand, then this is an awesome gaming mouse for your next purchase. At only $60, for me it was the perfect combination of price and performance. Now it's available in a variety of colours too. I got it in the standard black, comes in a pretty swish looking white, and you can get it in blue and lilac too, so there's a colour to suit most tastes. I'm going to put links in the descriptions down below for all the mice that I've mentioned in the video. At exactly the same size as the G Pro Wired mouse, but in a fast and responsive wireless body, the G305 has replaced my G Pro Wired mouse, and that's saying something. So, thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, don't forget to like and share it if you did, and if you're not subscribed already, hit the subscribe button down below, and as always, see you in the next one.